10 things you didn't know about the richest man in history, Mansa Musa. Hello The Explorers, welcome back to another exciting video presented to you by The Explorer, and thanks for watching. In this video we shall be going down memory lane, looking at the 10 things you probably didn't know about Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa's life being part legend and part historic makes him one of the most intriguing characters in both ancient and modern times. Musa I, or Mansa Musa, was the 10th Mansa or Sultan, or conqueror or empire of the Mali state, an Islamic West African state. He has been described as the wealthiest individual of the Middle Ages, and he lived from 1280 to 1337. At the time of Mansa's ascension to the throne, Mali in large part consisted of the territory of the former Ghana Empire, which Mali had conquered. The Mali Empire consisted of land that is now part of Mauritania and the modern state of Mali. During his reign, Musa held many titles such as Emir of Mali, Lord of the Mines of Wangara, and Conqueror of Ghanata, as Musa conquered 24 cities along with their surrounding districts. During Musa's reign, Mali may have been the largest producer of gold in the world, and Musa has been considered one of the richest people in history. However, modern commentators such as Time magazine have concluded that there is no accurate way to quantify Musa's wealth. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Musa is generally referred to as Mansa Musa in Western manuscripts and literature. His name also appears as Kanku Musa, Kankan Musa, and Kankou Musa. Other names used for Musa include Mali-Koy Kankan Musa, Gonga Musa, and the Lion of Mali. He helped his empire reach tremendous growth thanks to encouraging the arts, literature, and architecture. So let's take a closer look with the 10 things you probably didn't know about Mansa Musa. Number 1. He boosted the economy of the Mali Empire to optimum during his reign. It is recorded that Mansa Musa traveled through the cities of Timbuktu and Gao on his way to Mecca and made them part of his empire when he returned around 1325. He brought architects from Andalusia, a region in Spain, and Cairo to build his grand palace in Timbuktu, and the great Gingereba Mosque that still stands till today. Timbuktu soon became a center of trade, culture, and Islam. Markets brought in merchants from Hausa land, Egypt, and other kingdoms. A university was founded in the city as well as in the Malian cities of Djenné and Ségou, and Islam was spread through the markets and university, making Timbuktu a new area for Islamic scholarship. News of the Malian Empire city of wealth even traveled across the Mediterranean to southern Europe, where traders from Venice, Granada, and Genoa soon added Timbuktu to their maps to trade manufactured goods for gold. He brought the economy of all his territories to great prosperity during his reign. Number 2. Mansa Musa had no lineage claims to the throne. Mansa Musa did not inherit the throne from his father, as successors in the Malian Empire were chosen by the king when he goes on a pilgrimage. What is known about the kings of the Malian Empire is taken from the writings of Arab scholars, including Al-Umari, Abu Said Uthman ad-Dukkali, Ibn-Khaldun, and Ibn Battuta. According to Ibn-Khaldun's comprehensive history of the Malian kings, Mansa Musa's grandfather was Abu-Bakr Keita, a nephew of Sundiata Keita, the founder of the Malian Empire as recorded through oral histories. Abu-Bakr did not ascend the throne, and his son Musa's father, Faga Laye, has no significance in the history of Mali. Mansa Musa came to the throne through a practice of appointing a deputy when a king goes on a pilgrimage to Mecca, or some other endeavor, and later naming the deputy as heir. According to primary sources, Musa was appointed deputy of Abubakari Keita II, the king before him, who had reportedly embarked on an expedition to explore the limits of the Atlantic Ocean and never returned. Musa's son and successor Mansa Magha Keita was also appointed deputy during Musa's pilgrimage. Number 3. Musa's trip to Mecca is considered the most expensive trip in history. Mansa Musa took a pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 in his 17th year as ruler, which became legendary due to the extreme wealth he displayed on his journey. Musa was a devout Muslim, and his pilgrimage to Mecca made him well known across northern Africa and the Middle East. He was the first Muslim ruler to make the 4,000-mile pilgrimage from West Africa to Mecca. Musa made his pilgrimage between 1324 and 1325. His procession reportedly included 60,000 men, all wearing brocade and Persian silk, including 12,000 slaves who each carried 1.8 kilograms of gold bars, and heralds dressed in silks from Persia who bore gold staffs, organized horses, and handled bags. Musa provided all necessities for the procession, feeding the entire company of men and animals. The animals included 80 camels, which each carried 23 to 136 kilograms of gold dust. Slaves carried gold as well, as he was generous wherever he visited, leaving gifts along the way. Number 4. He is the only man in history to single-handedly control the prices of gold in the Mediterranean. During Musa's pilgrimage, Musa gave gold to the poor he met along his route. Musa not only gave to the cities he passed on the way to Mecca, including Cairo and Medina, but he also traded gold for souvenirs, and it was reported that he built a mosque every Friday. Musa's journey was documented by several eyewitnesses along his route, who were in awe of wealth and extension possession, and records exist in a variety of sources, including journals, oral accounts, and histories. Musa is known to have visited the Mamluk Sultan of Egypt, Al-Nasir Muhammad, in July 1324. Because of his nature of giving, Musa's massive spending and generous donations created a massive 10-year gold recession. In the cities of Cairo, Medina, and Mecca, the sudden influx of gold devalued the metals significantly. Prices of goods and wares became greatly inflated. This mistake became apparent to Musa, and on his way back to Mecca, he borrowed all the gold he could carry from moneylenders in Cairo at high interest. This is the only time recorded in history that one man directly controlled the price of gold in the Mediterranean. Some historians believe that the Hajj was less out of religious devotion than to garner international attention to the flourishing state of Mali. The creation of a recession of the magnitude could have been purposeful. After all, Cairo was the leading gold market at the time, where people went to purchase large amounts of gold. In order to relocate these markets to Timbuktu or Gao, Musa would have to first affect Cairo's gold economy. No matter the reason for his actions, Musa made a major point of showing off his nation's wealth. His goal was to create a ripple, and he succeeded greatly in this, so much so that he lands himself in Mali on the Catalan Atlas of 1375. Number 5. His appetite for conquest was as big as his love for education. During his long return journey from Mecca in 1325, Musa heard news that his army had recaptured Gao. Sagmandia, one of his generals, led the endeavor. The city of Gao had been within the empire since before Sakuru's reign and was an important, though often rebellious, trading center. Musa made a detour and visited the city, where he received as hostages the two sons of the Gao king, Ali Kolon and Suleiman Nar. He returned to Niani with the two boys and later educated them at his court. When Mansa Musa returned, he brought back many Arabian scholars and architects. Mansa Musa valued education and had the University of Sankore built in Timbuktu. It drew scholars from around the world. The University of Sankore in Timbuktu was restaffed under Musa's reign with jurists, astronomers, and mathematicians. The university became a center of learning and culture, drawing Muslim scholars from around Africa and the Middle East to Timbuktu. By the end of Mansa Musa's reign, the Sankore University had been converted into a fully staffed university, with the largest collections of books in Africa since the Library of Alexandria. The Sankore University was capable of housing 25,000 students and had one of the largest libraries in the world, with roughly 1 million manuscripts. Number 6. Constructions in the Mali Empire was revolutionary during his reign. Musa embarked on large building programs during his reign, raising mosques and madrasas in Timbuktu and Gao. Most notably, the ancient center of learning Sankore Madrasa or University of Sankore was constructed during his reign. In Niani, Musa built the Hall of Audience, a building communicating by an interior door to the royal palace. It was an admirable monument, surmounted by dome and adorned with arabesques of striking colors. The wooden window frames of an upper story were plated with silver foil, those of a lower story with gold. Like the Great Mosque, a contemporaneous and grandiose structure in Timbuktu, the whole was built of cut stone. During this period, there was an advanced level of urban living in the major centers of Mali. Sergio Dumian, an Italian scholar of art and architecture, wrote of this period: "Thus we laid the foundation of an urban civilization. At the height of its power, Mali had at least 400 cities, and the interior of the Niger Delta was densely populated. Mansa Musa's spending did not end when he returned home. He had many buildings such as his Grand Palace, educational centers, and mosques built. Mansa Musa's palace no longer exists, but the mosque and the university he built in Timbuktu still stands. Number 7. His empire consisted of 9 modern African countries. The Empire of Mali covered a 2,000-mile stretch from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Chad. It included present-day Chad, Niger, Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Gambia, Senegal, and Mauritania. During Mansa Musa's reign, the Mali Empire flourished and expanded. It grew to include Timbuktu and Gao as well. The Mali Empire was at its greatest when Mansa Musa ruled. During Mansa Musa's rule, the city of Timbuktu became a major cultural and trade city famous around the world. Mansa Musa ruled over 400,000 miles of territory, and his reign over the Empire of Mali lasted for 25 years. Number 8. He is the richest man to ever live. Mansa Musa is thought to be the richest man to have walked the surface of the earth. Although many find it hard to know how rich he was, given his enormous wealth, Mansa Musa's wealth, if adjusted for inflation, would be 7 times that of Bill Gates' wealth today. Mansa Musa made his massive fortune by maximizing the production of gold and salt in his country, and his fortune in the 14th century would equal approximately $400 billion today when adjusted for inflation. Number 9. Mansa Musa's death is still a mystery. The death of Mansa Musa is highly debated among modern historians and the Arab scholars who recorded the history of Mali. When compared to the reigns of his successor's son Mansa Magha, who ruled from 1337 to 1341, and his older brother Mansa Suleiman, who ruled from 1341 to 1360, and Musa's regular 25 years of rule, the calculated date of death is 1337. Other records declare that Musa planned to abdicate the throne to his son Magha, but he died soon after he returned from Mecca in 1325. According to an account by Ibn-Khaldun, Mansa Musa was alive when the city of Tlemcen in Algeria was conquered in 1337, and he sent a representative to Algeria to congratulate the conquerors on their victory. Accounts of his death are still a great mystery and issue of debate among scholars up to date. Number 10. Most of his wealth and territories crumbled after his death. During Mansa Musa's reign, he acquired so much wealth and territories that Mali was a target for attack by many seeking to take his glory. They could not do so given how intelligent he was and how well he built his fortress, but as soon as Musa died, history recorded a different story with regards to his wealth and territories. Mansa Musa's son Mansa Magha succeeded his father and ruled Mali from 1337 to 1341. When Mansa Musa died somewhere between 1331 or 1337, his fortune began to dwindle away between mismanagement by his heirs and invasions and civil wars. The fortune was depleted, and the Mali Empire never went back to its former glory under the rule of Mansa Musa. There you have it, explorers. Those were the top 10 things you didn't know about Mansa Musa. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, do well to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.